the truth is, she said she voted against one of there's only 10 senators who voted against it. I mean, 90 senators in Washington don't agree on anything, but they did on the USMCA. But Kamala Harris, who was rated last year as the most liberal member of the United States Congress, actually voted against the USMCA because she said it didn't go far enough on climate change. I mean, you all deserve to know here in Michigan that Joe Biden's running mate put her radical environmental agenda ahead of Michigan jobs and Michigan auto workers. But I promise you, under President Donald Trump, we are always going to put American jobs and American workers first. And then you got energy, plays such an important role. Drives prosperity in Michigan all across the heartland of this country. And I know you've heard it. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris over the last year have repeatedly said that they want to ban fracking and abolish fossil fuels. And Joe Biden actually said in the presidential debate the other night. And how good was President Trump in that presidential debate in Larry? He was a great guy, right? Anyway, Joe Biden, you get to the end of the debate, about 90 minutes if you're still up. And they start talking about energy, and Joe Biden actually said that America needs to transition from the oil industry. I mean, the president just said that's a big statement. Boy, was it. I mean, according to a 2017 study by a non-political group, the oil and gas industry supports 160,000 jobs right here in Michigan. And they're talking about whatever they're saying right now. Go back. It's like, honestly, Joe Biden said, show the tape. So we've been showing the tape. Pretty easy to find. Just keep going on and look at it. They're going to ban fracking. They want to abolish fossil fuels. But President Donald Trump has been a champion for American energy and American energy independence. We've developed all the resources of our land, and America is a net exporter of energy for the first time in 70 years. When it comes to jobs and trade and energy, President Trump will always put Michigan and America first. On this economy, honestly, got 6 days to go. Men and women of Michigan, we got a choice to make. And this state will play an outsized role in deciding this election. Make no mistake about it. Here's choice. I know you got my back. You just got to make sure Michigan comes through. Let me tell you something. Choice in this election is real simple. The president says it all. When you look at our agenda of less taxes, less regulation, free and fair trade, American energy independence, and you look at their more taxes, more regulation, economic surrender on trade, less American energy, it's clear. This election is a choice between a Trump recovery and a Biden depression. It's true. A nonpartisan study just came out last week that said that Joe Biden's economic policies would cost 5 million American jobs, and that the average American family would lose $6,500 a year in income. So in all the 6 days that remain, I want you to reach out to neighbors and friends here in Flint and all across the state. I want you to say, I'm standing out in the cold. Mike Pence showed up. And he told me to ask one question. Here's the question you got to ask. Really, just find somebody who knows you. They haven't made a decision yet. You just look at them and say, who do you really think can bring this American economy all the way down? A career politician with 47 years in Washington, raising taxes, stifling the economy, waving a white flag of economic surrender on trade, or a proven job creator that'll keep cutting taxes, fighting for American jobs and American workers? For a great American comeback in Michigan and across this nation, we need 4 more years of President Donald Trump in the White House. So it's about our security, it's about our prosperity, but here at home, it's also about the rule of law. And I couldn't be more proud to be Vice President, to a president who stands every day with the men and women who serve on the thin blue line of law enforcement. President Trump and I know what you know. Men and women who put on the uniform of law enforcement every day are some of the best people in this country. And they deserve the respect of every American every day. Now, the President and I will always support the right of peaceful protest. It's enshrined in our Constitution. But rioting and looting, like we saw last night in Philadelphia, it's not peaceful protest. Burning businesses is not free speech. For months, remember, all summer long, all Joe Biden talked about was peaceful protesters, right? Never condemning people that were literally burning businesses to the ground. I was in Minneapolis a couple weeks ago, and I met an incredible African-American woman named Flora Westbrook. Flora started a little salon in Minneapolis 35 years ago, built it up with her sister. She told me of the day, a couple days after the killing of George Floyd, how she saw the violent protesters coming closer and closer and closer to her little salon, until they burned it to the ground. You know, the truth is, Joe Biden would double down on the policies that have led to violence in our cities. I mean, when you refuse to condemn those that perpetrate violence against our families and our communities, when you start to withdraw support from those who protect and serve, you only embolden those. We're tearing our communities asunder. Now, Joe Biden explains it all by saying he thinks America is systemically racist. And he and Kamala Harris actually believe, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris regularly say that they believe police have an implicit bias against minorities. When he was asked if he cut funding for law enforcement, Joe Biden actually said, yes, absolutely. But under President Donald Trump, I'll make you a promise. We're not going to defund the police. Not now, not ever. We're going to back the blue, and we're going to back the blue for 4 more years. You know, you and I know, the President knows, we don't have to choose between supporting law enforcement and supporting our African-American neighbors and friends and other minorities and families that live in our major cities. I mean, for the last 3.5 years, we've done both. And we'll keep doing both for 4 more years. I mean, under this president, we funded more than 4,000 new police officers through the COPS program. When violence was taken over in major cities this summer, we launched Operation Legend, and we've arrested more than 2,500 violent offenders working with local law enforcement. And at the very same time, I couldn't be more proud that under our administration, we saw the lowest unemployment ever recorded for African Americans, the highest funding for historically black colleges and universities. We supported educational choice for families and 8,000 opportunity zones that are creating jobs in inner cities, including the Opportunity Zone right here in Flint, Michigan. We're going to support law enforcement. We're going to support our minority communities. And we're going to have law and order in every city, in every state, in America, for every one of us of every race and creed and color. So help us God. In support of the rule of law, I'm proud to report all the great Michiganders gathered here. As we stand here today, President Trump has actually appointed more than 220 conservatives to our federal court. And they are all men and women who will uphold the God-given liberties enshrined in our Constitution, like the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, and the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. "220 federal judges, 3 Supreme Court justices, Justice Neil Gorsuch, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, and Justice Amy Coney Barrett." Isn't she great? What a brilliant jurist, incredible person, who just happens to be from Indiana. Couldn't be more proud of her. We think it's altogether fitting that she now occupies the seat of the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. The truth is, Justice Ginsburg was a trailblazer for women. She was. Women in the law in this country, she inspired generations of women to step forward. And I know that the incredible character and life story and jurisprudence of Justice Amy Coney Barrett will inspire a new generation. In fact, let me just say, as a point of parental pride, one of those young women is with me on this trip. She's my youngest. She just graduated from law school, and she is part of that rising generation of young, incredible women who's going to do great things. My daughter, Audrey Pence, everybody. You know, when you think about the courts and all that we've been able to accomplish, it's been because of the strong support we got from the people of Michigan. It's been because you have a president that kept his word to appoint principal jurists to our court to uphold our Constitution. And it's one more reason why we need to send John James to a renewed Republican majority in the United States Senate. It's just that important. It's about our liberties, everybody. And here in Michigan, you deserve to know, when Joe Biden was vice president, we saw a steady assault on the religious freedom of Americans. I mean, the last administration actually hauled a group of nuns into federal court to force them to compromise their faith and live under the mandates of Obamacare. And not long ago, when Judge Barrett was going through her confirmation 2 years ago, the leading Democrat on the Judiciary Committee expressed the same religious intolerance that we've seen from so many in their party. She said she was concerned about Judge Barrett because of her devout Catholic faith. She said, and I quote, "The dogma lives loudly within you." And Hollywood elites started attacking Judge Barrett, and they've never stopped. Well, I got a message for the Democrats in Washington and their friends in Hollywood. That dogma lives loudly in me. That dogma lives loudly in you. And the right to live and work and worship according to the dictates of our faith lives loudly in the Constitution of the United States of America. Under President Trump, we've not only appointed men and women to our courts to uphold our religious freedom, but we restored the conscience rights of doctors and nurses. religious charities and organizations. And it was President Donald Trump who ended the legal assault on the Little Sisters of the Poor, and the Supreme Court made it permanent. President Donald Trump has stood for the freedom of religion of every American, of every faith, and we're going to do it for 4 more years. And finally, where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris support taxpayer funding of abortion all the way up to the moment of birth, I couldn't be more proud to serve alongside a president who stands without apology for the sanctity of human life. So an amazing first 3 years because of the support of the people of Michigan in 2016. We rebuilt our military, we revived our economy, we stood for law and order, liberties, and life. And none of that would have been possible without the strong and consistent support of Michigan's Republican delegation to Congress. So I got a favor to ask. Right after you re-elect President Donald Trump and send John James to the United States Senate, we need you to send Congressman John Molinar to a new Republican majority in the House of Representatives and retire Nancy Pelosi once and for all. Now, when you look at what we were able to accomplish in these first 2 years, first few of which we had a Republican House and a Republican Senate, only one way you can describe it. In 3 short years, we made America great again. And then 2020 arrived, and the coronavirus struck from China. But before the very first case of community transmission anywhere in America, President Trump did what no American had ever done in the history of this country. He suspended all travel from China, the second largest economy in the world. President Trump put the health of America first. Now, Joe Biden said it was xenophobic. He literally wrote a few days before the president's action that banning travel during the global pandemic would make things worse. Joe Biden got it wrong. President Trump got it right. And the truth is, the president's decision at the outset saved untold American lives because it bought us invaluable time to stand up the greatest national mobilization since World War II. We reinvented testing. We started the manufacture all across the heartland of billions of supplies of personal protective equipment, ventilators, and the like. No American that's ever required a ventilator has ever been denied a ventilator. No one who's ever required an ICU bed was ever denied an ICU bed. We started at record speed to develop medicines, therapeutics that are saving lives today. And before the end of this year, we believe we will have tens of millions of doses of the first coronavirus vaccine in the world. I must tell you, until that day comes that we put this pandemic in the past, with a safe and effective vaccine, we're going to keep moving heaven and earth to make sure that our doctors and nurses all across the country have the resources and the support they need to give anyone that's struggling in this pandemic the level of health care we want a family member to have. I promise you that. We're going to keep protecting the vulnerable. We're going to keep saving lives. And while Joe Biden's talking about shutting down our country, we are opening up America again. I mean, it's amazing to think on that foundation that the president poured those first 3 years. And with the unprecedented support Congressman John Molinar helped to provide, direct payments to families, direct payments to businesses to keep nearly 50 million Americans on the payroll of small businesses. After we lost 22 million jobs at the height of this pandemic, we've already seen 11.5 million people go back to work in the last 5 months, including 600,000 people right here in Michigan. We are opening up America again. So we've gone through a time of testing. I know you came out on this cold night because, 6 days from now we're coming to a time for choosing. The choice in this election has never been clearer. Stakes have never been higher. I mean, when you look at their agenda, higher taxes, open borders, socialized medicine, the Green New Deal, it's clear.
We love you, Pat!
It's true. I mean, Joe Biden's just going to be a Trojan horse for the radical left. And his running mate, Kamala Harris, I said, well, she was more liberal than Bernie Sanders in the last year in the Senate. Now, Joe Biden says that democracy is on the ballot. Well, I think our economic recovery is on the ballot. I think law and order are on the ballot. But I also believe there are things more foundational to our country that are on the ballot. In this election, I think it's not going to be so much whether America ends up more Democrat or more Republican, more liberal or more conservative, more red or more blue. I think the choice in this election is whether America remains America. It's whether we're going to chart a course for our children and our grandchildren with a renewed commitment to freedom, patriotism, family, faith, and all the principles that have made this country great, or whether we're going to let Joe Biden and the radical left turn our nation toward an inevitable path of less freedom, socialism, and American decline. So for our freedom and for all the ideals that have always made America great, Michigan, we need to decide right here and right now that Joe Biden will never be president of the United States. We're going to re-elect President Donald Trump for 4 more years. You know, 4 years ago when the president called me, asked me to join this ticket, I said yes in a heartbeat. Because I knew in the time that we spent together, I knew he had the vision, he had the leadership qualities that could bring this country back and make this country great again. Let me tell you something. You know, some people think we're a little bit different. But we've gotten to be very close friends. When we're at the White House, we're together for hours a day over the last 3.5 years. And when we're traveling different places, we speak every day, just like we did this morning. And let me tell you firsthand, I've seen our president when the cameras are off and when the bright lights are off. And I want to tell you, over the last 4 years, there has never been a day gone by against unrelenting resistance and opposition by the Democrats in Washington, against unfair and unrelenting attacks by their allies in the national media. There has never been a day gone by that I haven't seen this president get up and fight to keep the promises that he made to the people of Michigan. Now it's our turn to fight for him. It's on, Michigan. It's time. And so I got a few things I got to ask you to do. And then I got a plane to catch. First and foremost, I already checked on the way here. Early voting has already started, right, Jim? Here we go. Laura. So first, on behalf of the president, I want to ask you, we need you to vote, Michigan, vote to re-elect President Donald Trump to the White House. And you take advantage of that early voting. My wife and I just voted down in Indianapolis a couple of days ago. The president did down in Florida. You need to go get it done. You can vote absentee, I'm told. I checked. City clerk's office, 1101 South Saginaw Street, open 8 to 5, Suite 201C. And remember, friends don't let friends vote alone. Bring a neighbor, bring a family member, bring a friend and vote to re-elect President Donald Trump to the White House. Just get it done. Just get it done tomorrow. First thing. Secondly, after you vote with a friend, I want you to go tell somebody all that we've accomplished under this president's leadership and the choice that we face in this election. I mean, I really believe with all my heart this is one of the most important elections ever in the life of this nation. It really is a moment where we're going to decide for our children and our grandchildren not just who will be in the White House in the next 4 years, but what kind of nation they're going to live in. You know, the president and I were on 60 Minutes the other night. But there was a moment, I have to tell you, that I just really enjoyed. It was when the reporter looked at the president and she asked him, how would you describe your supporters? And the president, without a moment's hesitation, gave an answer I'll never forget. She said, how would you describe your supporters? And he said, they are people who love our country. So go tell your neighbors and friends that we have a president who loves this country and who is going to continue to fight to put America first. Go tell them. USA! 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 You know, I asked you to do that because I really do believe that history-making election in 2016 here in Michigan, all across the country, it was proof positive. The most powerful media in this country is not your television networks, it's not your newspapers, it's not your social media. The most powerful media in this country is word of mouth. It's when the American people are talking to each other, and when someone who knows you and respects you hears from you about an issue that's important. And I'm just saying to you on behalf of Laura Cox, on behalf of the Congressman, on behalf of the President, myself, just take some time to reach out to your neighbors and friends. Just tell them I ran into Mike out at the airport and he and I talked for like an hour, just trying to summarize everything we've done, the choice that we face, and what we're going to do to make this country great again for 4 more years with President Donald Trump in the White House. You go tell them. And lastly, you know, in these challenging times in which we live, if you're of a mind to avail yourself of that wellspring of strength that is always seen our nation through much more difficult times. I'd encourage you to do that too. You know, I've traveled around this country over the last 4 years, and one, two things I'm convinced of. This is a freedom-loving nation, and this is a nation of faith. I mean, everywhere the president and I go, it's without fail. People will reach across the line and lower their voice a little bit and just say, "I'm praying for you." And we hear it all the time. And so if you're inclined to bow the head and bend the knee from time to time, the last thing I ask you to do is just consider doing that in the next 6 days. And when you pray, pray with confidence in those ancient words that Americans have clung to through much more challenging times than even we could possibly imagine. That if his people who are called by his name will humble themselves and pray and turn, that he'll do like he's always done in the long and storied history of this great nation. He'll hear from heaven, and he'll heal this land. This one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So pray for America. Pray for all the American people. It'll make a difference, I promise you. And with that, I'm going to let you get back somewhere warm tonight, but I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for supporting our president and this entire team. And I leave here today with renewed confidence that if all of us do all that we need to do over the next 6 days, all across the great state of Michigan, all across America, we're going to have a great victory. Here in Michigan and all across America. And with John James in a renewed Republican majority in the United States Senate, with Congressman John Molinar in a new Republican majority in the House, with President Donald Trump in the White House for 4 more years, and with God's help. I tell you, Michigan, I just know we will make America great again. Again. Thank you all very much. God bless you. God bless America. Now let's go get it done, Michigan. thing